Hello again. Time to go over ChemQuest 7 about significant figures. Most of the paid in the butt part of significant figures are zeros. So again, your ChemQuest starts with some rules. And we talked about the rules the other day. So question number 1 says, verify that each of the following numbers contains 4 significant figures. Circle the digits that are significant. So we have point, and then we have 4 zeros. 4, 1, 8, 2. The 4, the 1, the 8, and the 2, these are our significant figures because they are not zeros. These zeros that are here, these zeros are placeholders, and therefore they are not significant. In letter B, again, our significant figures are the 4, the 9, the 4, and the 1 because they are not zeros. These other zeros here, okay, these again are just placeholders, and so they are not significant. Okay, 32. Again, easy ones are the numbers that are not zero. This 0 right here, this is also a significant figure because it is between numbers that are not 0. So those are your 4 and that number. And finally, we have, again, the 3 and the 2 are significant because they are not 0. And these zeros that are between them are significant because they are between numbers that are not 0. Question number 2, how many significant figures are in each of the following numbers? Notice that the ABC goes from left to right as opposed to up and down. So letter A has 5 significant figures. My goodness, that's my dog playing with her toy. Has 5 significant figures because, again, because we have 0.234 15045. So again, our significant figures are the 1, the 5, the 4, the 5, and this 0 that's between them. In our next number, $4,600,000, we have a total of only 2 significant figures, the 4 and the 6. In our next number, 2,406, here we have the 2, the 4, the 6 are significant, and so is this 0 that is between it because it is between 2 numbers that are not 0. In letter D, three, 4, 5, and then a 5. The only significant digit here is this 5. These other zeros that are here, these other zeros are placeholders, and therefore they are not significant. So that one only has 1. In letter E, again, the 3, the 1 are significant, as are all these zeros that are between them. So that gives us a total of 6 significant digits. And our final number of 12,000, this again is one of those ones where we have an understood decimal. Because it's an understood decimal, the only 2 significant digits are the 1 and the 2. The rest of the numbers are not significant. So we have 2 significant figures there. Next, your ChemQuest talks about that understood is decimal place versus a not understood decimal place. Okay, So question number 3 asks, verify that each of the following numbers contains 5 significant figures. Circle the digits that are significant. Oops. So we have 0.000300200. Again, 3, 2, easy, okay, because they're not zeros. This 0 is easy because it's between the 3 and the 2, so it's between numbers that are not 0. The final 2 significant digits here to make 5 are these last 2 zeros because they are to the right, okay, of this decimal and at the end of the number, and so that's what makes them significant. Our second one, 200 decimal 00. Again, this is 5. The 2 is significant, and all of these zeros are significant because they are at the end of a decimal and there are zeros to the right of a decimal. Letter C, 2300 decimal 0. Same thing. 2, 3 are significant because they're not zeros. And the rest of these zeros are significant because they are at the end of a number and there's a decimal and a 0 to the right of the number. And finally, letter D. 0.000321100. Again, 3, 2 significant because they're not zeros. These last 3 zeros are also significant because here's our decimal and we're to the right of that decimal and at the end of a number. Number 4 has some more for you to do. So we have the 0.0020100. This again, 2 and the 1 are significant. This 0 is significant because it's between numbers that are not 0. And these last 3 zeros are significant because they're to the right and at the end of a number. So that one has 6 significant figures. Letter B, 23,001,000. Again, the 2, the 3, the 1 are significant because they're not zeros. And these 2 zeros that are between them are significant because they're between numbers that are not 0. Because this is an understood decimal, it's not written, this only has 5 significant digits. Decimal 300, oops. 0300. Again, the 3 significant because it's not a 0. And then actually these last 2 zeros are significant for that new rule about the fact that we are, here's our decimal, we're to the right of the decimal and at the end of a number. Letter D. Okay, so this one had 3. Right here, this one had 3 sig figs. Okay. So letter D, again, 2 and the 4 and this 4 and this 1 are significant, as are these 3 zeros because they're between numbers that are not 0. So that gives us a total of 7 significant digits in letter D. Letter E. Again, the 2, the 4, the 1 are significant. These 2 zeros here are significant because they're between numbers that are not 0. These last 2 zeros are also significant again because here's our decimal, they're to the right, and they are at the end of a number. So this one again has 7 significant digits. Finally, letter F. The 2 and the 1 are significant here. None of these zeros are significant because they're just placeholders. So letter F only has 2 significant figures. In terms of rounding numbers, we're not doing anything different when it comes to rounding numbers. You just need to round to the correct number of significant figures. So number 5 asks you to round so that you end up with 3 significant figures every time. So letter A is 173,792. You want to round so that you have 3 significant figures, which would be here. And because this is a 7, this becomes 174,000. Letter B okay. Here's 1, here's 2. This is going to be our third significant digit. This is a 2, so this becomes 0.00250. Letter C, point 0.000392. Again, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3 significant digits. These aren't significant because they're just placeholders. So again, we're going to make this 30319. And letter D, 30. With 3 significant digits, this right now only has 1. So to make this have 3, we need to add a decimal. So this is going to become 30.0. Now it has 3 significant digits because this is significant. It's not a 0. And these 2 zeros are significant because they are to the right and at the end of a number. Number 6 asks you to do some more rounding. This time we want 4 significant figures. So 249,441. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to round to this spot. So this number becomes 249,400. Letter B. Again, 4 significant figures. These first 2 aren't significant, they're placeholders. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to round there. So this is going to become 0.002501. Letter C, 12,049,002. Again, 1, 2. This is going to be a significant 0 because it's between numbers that are not 0. So there's our 4. And because this is a 9, that's going to make it a 5. So this number is going to become 12,050,000. Finally, letter D of number 6, 0.002000210. Again, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. First 2 zeros, these ones here are not significant because they're placeholders. Okay, so this is what you should have. Again, we went over the rules the other day about multiplying and dividing, which is mostly what we're going to do in chemistry. Our rules when we multiply and divide is that we're limited in terms of significant figures by whichever number has the fewest. So, when we look at number 7, letter A, 12.470 times 270. Okay, when you do this on your calculator, okay, your calculator gives you 3366.9. Okay, but this number, this first number has 4 sig figs. The second number has only 2 sig figs. So my answer can only have 2 sig figs. So when I write that, that's to here, I'm going to write this as 3,400. Letter B, 36,000. divided by 1245. When you do that on your calculator, you get 28.9156 repeating. Okay. And again, here we have 2 sig figs. Here we have 4 sig figs. So our answer can only have 2 sig figs, which means we're going to round to here. And because this is a 9, it's going to make it 29. Letter C, 310.0 times 12. So again, our calculator gives us a number of 3,720. This number has 4 sig figs. Because there's 0 is to the right and at the end of a decimal, it's significant. So all of these are. This has 2. That means my answer can only have 2 sig figs. Around to here. So that makes my answer 3,700. Letter D, 129, 0.6. Okay. Divided by 3 gives us an answer on our calculator of 43.2. Again, this first number has 4 sig figs. The second number only has 1 sig fig. Our answer can only have 1 sig fig, therefore, and so our answer is going to be 40. In the letter E, we have 125 times 1.4452. Again, our calculator gives us an answer of 180.65. This number has 3 sig figs. This number has 5 sig figs. My answer, therefore, can only have 3 sig figs. That means I'm going to round to here. So my answer is 181. And letter F, 6,000 divided by 2.53. Our calculator gives us an answer of 2371.541502.
That's the pi number.
Okay. This is one significant figure because, again, that's that understood decimal. There's not a decimal actually written. This one has 3 sig figs. So my answer can only have 1 sig fig. So when I write this with one significant figure, my answer is 2,000. Next you saw about rounding to a decimal place and asking you to round numbers to certain places. For number 8, you should have had 134,123,020 for letter A. For letter B, you should have had 23,190. For letter C, 440. And letter D, 2,950. This is because, again, this is the tens place, and it was asking you always to round to the tens place. When you add and subtract, which we don't do nearly as often in chemistry as we do the multiplication and division, in number 9, okay, letter A, 24.28 plus 12.5. Okay? So again, our calculator gives us an answer of 36.78. But because this number has its last significant digit in the tenths place, we have to round to the tenths place. So our answer is 36.8. Letter B, okay, 120,000 plus 420. So our calculator gives us an answer of 120,420. However, in this top number, again, we have that understood zero or decimal situation. So our last significant digit is in the 10,000s place, which means our last significant digit can be in the 10,000s place, and our answer is 120,000. Letter C, 140,100 minus 1422. 1, 3, 8, 6, 7, 8. Again here, our last significant digit here and is here. Because this is in the hundreds place, my last significant digit has to be in the hundreds place. So I'm going to write this as, when I don't misread the numbers here, I'm going to write this as 138,700, so 138,700. Letter D, you should get 1.83 when you do it. For letter E, you should get 14,670. Letter F, 440. Number 10 was mixed calculations. In letter A, it's limited because it's multiplication and division. It's limited by the number with the fewest. 120 only has two significant figures. So for A, you should have gotten 2.0 for number 10. Letter B, it's addition and subtraction. So it's limited by the place. 12,310 has the 1 in the tens place, which means your answer can have its last significant digit in the tens place. So you end up with 12,330 for your answer to B. Letter C, it's multiplication, so you're limited by the total number. So 31,900 has 3 sig figs, 4 has 1. So your answer can only have one significant figure, so you end up with an answer of 100,000. Letter D, again, multiplication and division, limited by total number of significant figures. 320.0 has 4 sig figs. 145,712 has 6. That means that your answer can only have 4 sig figs, and you end up with an answer of 46 million. Letter E, addition and subtraction. So here it's position. So in 100 or 1,420, the 2 is in the tens place, and in 34, the last number is in the ones place. So I have to round to the tens place. So I get 1390. And letter F, addition and subtraction again, limited by the position. 4,129, the last digit is in the ones. 200, the last digit is in the hundreds. So my answer can have its last digit in the hundreds. So my answer is 4,300. So that brings us to the end of ChemQuest 1, and those are your corrections and answers.